Hey, good morning. Welcome back to another live. It's been a long and cold and wet winter here in the Pacific Northwest, and I have been in a bit of a rut, and I am hoping to catch something. It's been a while since I've caught a fish. Uh, Life has just kind of gotten away from me and caught up. So I'm throwing my Hail Marys today. We're going to have 3 rods. And on each of those, we're getting back to basics. I mean, we're talking KISS fishing method with proven baits that will catch a fish despite overcoming bad odds. And for that, we got worms. We got the patented cheese. I'm going with a nice mozzarella, which is also kind of doubling as my breakfast. And we'll see what happens. So we're going to throw this cheese on here, get it out with the bobber. Should probably go off the bottom. Cheese all rigged up on my newer Daiwa reel. Went through this past summer, kind of updated my fishing reels. All the rods were in pretty good shape, but the fishing reels needed some love, so they got updated. We got that cheese out there. Let's grab some worms and get those going as well. Got a night crawler. Hoping for anything really, but a perch, bluegill. Thinking the water's still a little bit cold, but a bluegill is probably, or a perch, yellow perch would be our best bet. And I know they're out deep this time of year. And for deep water fishing, we're gonna throw a, all right, so we got our 2 Hail Marys out. We got the worm with the bobber, and we got a chunk of cheese. And we're hoping, I know those bluegill and even the perch really like that cheese, so I'm hoping that your piece of cheese, how ironic. Good morning and welcome, man. We're out in the backyard pond doing a little bit of fishing. Hayden Weaver, good morning to you. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. We got 2 baits out already, piece of cheese and worm, and they're both on bobbers. We're going for whatever bites this morning. It's been winter for too long. It's been too long since I've been out in the backyard pond. Most common for the backyard pond is unfortunately spotted bass, but this time of year we're looking for yellow perch. It's been cold and wet. I live out in the Pacific Northwest, and water temps are real low, but I think the perch are still going to be active and biting, but we're going for, well, basically whatever bites. I've started to see some movements on the pond this morning. We might pick up a catfish if we got that cheese out there, and we don't get big cats. We get like bullheads, and that's it. Usually a brown bullhead. We're also throwing a Ned rig with a just like a speed worm. I think it's watermelon colored. Love me, Trevor. Hey, what's going on? Steve. Good morning to everybody. Hey, hope everybody's having a great weekend. Thanks for taking time to check out my channel. Welcome to my backyard pond. And just like that, of course, we hook our chair, but we're off now. So the pond itself is 6 acres or so, but it connects to a larger lake up north that way, and it runs out into several smaller ponds and eventually out into the to the ocean. We got everything from bullhead catfish to perch to spotted bass, bluegill, and a couple sunfish. I'm just when the water's this cold, water temp's about 40 something degrees, outside temp's about 50. Yeah, the pond itself at the deepest point, you know, in the summer it shallows out quite a bit. Even in the Pacific Northwest, it still dries out. And so right now the deepest part of the pond is probably over there, and it is at 23 feet. In the summer that drops down to about 10 or 12. And yeah, in the colder months, the fish are typically deeper, especially if you're looking for like a largemouth bass. They're usually laying on the bottom. That's why I'm throwing this speed rig, or this speed worm, because what I'm doing is I'm letting it sink to the bottom, and then I'm dragging it along, hopefully right in front of those bass's face. We have some mid-water bobbers set up, and those are kind of targeting the yellow perch. Or bluegill. Perch and bluegill typically will feed on the top, and bass in the summertime as well. But with the water temperatures low, everything's usually hanging out in the deeper water. And everything is connected. I mean, it runs through a stream into a larger lake that way, and there is about, oh, I don't know. So everything's connected, and the fish kind of migrate depending on the time of the year. The other pond that this feeds into, and eventually the bay. I live right next to the ocean, kind of on like a big peninsula sandbar. You know, it's the wrong time of year for salmon, but that is my go-to species. Like I said, I live right next to the ocean, and salmon is my predominant fish that I like and enjoy fishing for. I'll run out a boat into the ocean to catch salmon, and that typically starts around July, August, and runs into October. There is a jetty I fish off, where I go down and I don't have to go out in the boat, and I catch salmon right off the shore. And they're coming up, there is spring salmon, and I'll be doing camping and salmon fishing on the largest river in Washington State, which happens to be the Columbia. You know, spring run is always kind of slower than the fall run, but I caught, I don't know, I think I caught one last year, and I've also hooked into a Phoenix Van Diver. Good morning. Shout out to you. Thanks for the comment. So yeah, spring salmon fishing on the Columbia starts here at the end of the month. And I'm going to do a 4-day, maybe 5, depends on how much time I can get off and what the wife will let me do. But that's going to be a camping and fishing video coming out in the near future. I've been looking forward to it. I actually look forward to salmon season all year. I just had to make it through this drizzly and wet winter. From Gianna, that's pretty cool. What are you fishing for out there? Appreciate you swinging by. You know, these lives are great for just meeting new people. And you know, I'm a small channel, working hard at growing, but how cool is it that, and I say this all the time, so I hate sounding like a broken record, but how cool is it that you can talk to people who fish from all over the world? Do I know any stores? Look, man, I'm not sponsored. Like, I like different brands for different things, but I mean, it's not hard to find fishing gear. You can go to Walmart and get started for around $20. Here's the thing, you don't have to spend big money on fishing gear to catch fish. Catfish are good. They're one of my favorite fish to eat, to be honest. I like big cats. I like small cats. And we have some cats in the backyard pond. Catfish, of course. Kind of slow, but it's a beautiful morning in the pond. A lot of bobber fishing is just sitting and waiting. But you know what? It's been raining here in Washington for the last 60 days or so, so it's just kind of nice to be outside. My biggest fish was about 2 years ago, and it was a 7-foot, 155-pound white sturgeon. I was out fishing on the Columbia River for salmon, and they have a pretty big sturgeon population. And to be honest, they like the same type of bait. So I ended up hooking into a sturgeon. I thought it was the biggest salmon I've ever caught. And I spent about 2.5 hours battling it, and it was like dragging a log. I mean, they don't fight like a salmon or a fish where they're gonna take off and do these big, massive runs. It's more like they go and they lay on the bottom in the deep pool, and then you got to try to drag them up. I didn't have a tape, so we're going to err on the side of caution and just say well over 6.5 feet. you know, it's YouTube and you can say whatever you want, but I'm not trying to be on here telling fishing stories, you know what I mean? A big sturgeon is definitely over 6 foot and definitely over 150 pounds. Accidentally. I wasn't trying to, and the tough part about that is you can't keep sturgeon. I would have loved to, but fishing regulations where I live are pretty strict when it comes to certain fish. But nonetheless, it made for a pretty good story. I was at my favorite campground, and I just ended up hooking into it. But right now, I'd settle for a half. You know, I'm gonna have to move this chair. You know, if you can snag something, you're going to, right? And I've snagged this chair probably 10 times now. We might check our worm and our cheese. Yeah, I had to release it, mainly because there were just too many witnesses around, and I couldn't keep it legally. But no, I try to abide by all fishing rules, and in Washington, or the river, the fishery I was fishing, you can only keep not salmon, but sturgeon a certain time of year and certain lengths, and that one was too big to keep during, and it was the wrong time of season. So back he went, and hopefully somebody else gets the thrill and excitement of catching him as well. Got a little wormy out there. Throw it out to a new spot. Hopefully we can hook something up. I like to go after, I'd like to target sturgeon. I only ever caught that one, and I mean, I live close enough to where, but the problem with sturgeon is the season's only like 3 days, and they make it definitely pretty difficult to even fish for them. And I get why, you know. Let's see how our cheese is doing. We got some, we're just kind of throwing Hail Marys today. Like I said, I got this real bad, like, skunk, like, and I just need that ice breaker, you know? Maybe just a fish to kind of get things moving. Slip bobber. String cheese. I was thinking about going cheddar, but string cheese seems to be what I have the best luck on. I did just pick up this little Daiwa reel last summer, and this thing has been great. I mean, smooth, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not sponsored. I'm not saying go out and buy Daiwa. But this thing, for being such a little reel, it's a powerhouse. Now, let's see if we can just get some fish on it. Wait a little bit and maybe break out something a little different, little rooster tail. All right, shout out to everybody in here. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday. Thanks for taking the time to check out the channel. If you like live fishing, camping, and being outside, this might be your new favorite channel of 2026. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Sorry, I had to sound like a YouTuber there. No, I'm out on the West Coast. I think it's closer to 8:30. That's why I'm saying good morning. I forget that it could be noon or even tomorrow where you're at. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping your scroll. I know there's other options, but thanks for hanging out with me. We're in the backyard pond trying to catch some fish. Right now, I'm just trying everything. We got bait out. We got this speed worm on a Ned rig. And I'm just dragging it along the bottom. Swim it for a little bit. Let it sink. Swim it for a little bit. Not seeing too many signs of life. I'm a little bit optimistic. But I just couldn't handle another day inside. You know, it's hard not to like completely squirrel out and be like, oh, I'm not getting them on this, so change lures 100 times. But I know I got the right lure for the conditions. I just got to have the patience and persistence to stick it out and get these fish. Time for the cry of every desperate fisherman everywhere. Here, fishy, fishy, fishy. The spring salmon's right around the corner. They're going to open up the Columbia here at the end of the month. There's supposed to be a moderate fish run of about, I think they said 2,500 spring salmon. And I want to go get some. You know, I already took some time off of work, and every year I go and I book this campground. But I was on like a 2-year dry spell there. Yeah, last year I don't think I hooked up a fish at all. Or I did, but I think it was undersized. This year, got a whole new setup. I bought a brand new inflatable tent. And if you're a regular channel member, you're probably tired of seeing and hearing about this wood stove and inflatable tent. But it's all coming up for future vids. You know, I'm gonna hopefully do a 4-day glamping setup, man. I got this inflatable tent. I cannot wait to try it out in the wild. I played with it for about a week here at the house before the wife said, hey, you gotta sleep inside like a normal person. You can't play survivalist in the backyard anymore. But I'm excited by the upcoming season. You know, it's been a cold and a wet winter, and looking forward to doing some camping and being outside. There's a big trench that goes through the middle of the lake, anywhere from about 24 feet down to 12. And what I'm doing is, since the middle's dredged out, there's a pretty steep bank where it drops off. What I'm doing now is I'm just trolling with that Ned rig. I lost my bobber. There it is. Right down that edge. Seeing if we can't find a angry spot. Hey, Settlement, man. Appreciate you. I haven't seen you around lately, but I ain't been doing that live as much as I used to. You know, trying to grow the channel, trying to get better. I'm not sure lives are the way to go for that, but something I enjoy doing. You know, I like being out here. I like fishing. Chances are I'd be out here anyways, so. We just out here throwing the kitchen sink at everything, seeing what sticks. We got like all the Hail Marys. We got some cheese out there. We got some night crawlers, some bobbers. We got some speed worms. Throwing everything at it, seeing what sticks. That's how you know things getting serious, when you sit on your butt on a wet chair, nonetheless. The hardest part about fishing sometimes is slowing down. You know, sometimes you just start doing too much. I already got 2 bobbers out there. I just need to let them work. With a mile slack line, I couldn't even reel in a fish if I wanted to. We're running shallow with the cheese. We might just be, I don't know, half an inch off the bottom. But I'm hoping to find a bullhead. Catfish with the cheese would be a pretty good breakfast. Actually, it'd be a pretty good breakfast. We're gonna switch out our worm. We left our bait out overnight, and it got a little frozen. So I kind of lost my my worms. They're not completely dead, but they're not as fresh as they could be. And yeah, we were so tangled up there we weren't even fishing, so go ahead and put on a little fresher worm. I like this. The other one's got like a monster hook on it. This one's a little bit more manageable for the type of fish we're going for today. Hopefully the fresh worm gets us what we need. I mean, it's pretty, right? Like if I was a fish, I'd probably eat that. Probably, I don't know, 3-foot leader. I'm gonna throw this right out. Oh, just past where the drop off is. Now the least fun part, you just kind of sit and wait. And throw out a little deeper, see if we can't find a pocket of perch. We'll get a little bit closer and see what the hell's saying. Jackson, man, nice to see you, bud. Nah, and I mean we're throwing everything at it. You know, we're trying hard and coming up short, but sometimes that's just how it goes. We got some cheese out there. We got some night crawlers. And we've been throwing a speed worm around a little bit, but it's just slow go this time of year, you know? But I figured, I mean, it's been forever since I've caught anything. So I figured I'd get out and give it a try. You know, it's kind of that cry of every fisherman ever, right? Here, fishy, fishy. Hey, shout out to the 3 people, man. We're just out here killing time on a Saturday morning, trying to catch some fish. Maybe talking a little bit of stories, fishing stories, whatever y'all want to do. Trying to keep it as entertaining as possible, but a lot of that relies on you guys. If you want to drop a comment, let me know where you're from, what you fish for. I know my job is to entertain you, and your job isn't to entertain me. But this ain't my job, and maybe we could figure it out together. What we got? Lost sight of my bobber, got a little bit excited, and yeah, this is just slow fishing, but it's a vibe for sure. You guys want to see my best friend? 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! Best friend. Who says chihuahuas don't fish? Got some ducks. Canadian geese. We got a nesting box on the pond. And it's always the first sign of spring is when the Canadian geese show back up. We have some that have been nesting here for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. And I call them Fred and Wilma. They come back every year to raise their goslings. And I thought I saw them earlier. Well, one, it's hard to tell Canadian geese apart. But the reason why I can tell them apart is, well, when they start hanging out here and they start using their nesting box, Fred will run off all the other geese on the pond. And he also has an injured foot from who knows what. So that's a pretty good way to tell them apart. But if you're trying to tell Canadian geese apart and you're actually good at it, 1, you probably got too much time on your hands. And 2, maybe you should work for the Canadian government. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with number 2. Yeah, you know, everything's working right. We got our cheese out. We got a beautiful looking night crawler. little hooks, hoping for that perch. We'll see how it goes. If we get ambitious, we'll start throwing that speed worm around again. But right now, it's just kind of a sit and wait game. And you can be like, oh, I like fishing because it's peaceful. But that's just what people say who don't catch fish, right? I want to catch a fish. Yeah, all right, it's great to be outside. I'm really enjoying nature. But that's not necessarily true. It's kind of raining. It's about, I don't know, 46 degrees. And I could easily enjoy nature from my window on my couch. It's hard to tell because there's a little bit of a breeze, but it looked like something just shot across the top. But, you know, truth be told, it's just slow fishing this time of year. And it is what it is, you know? Got some razor clam digs next week. And if you're new here, I live on the coast. Sorry to repeat myself if you've been watching the entire time, but live out on the coast and we get razor clam digs, which is kind of a fun experience. I realize not a lot of people can relate to it unless you're on a coast somewhere with razor clams, but yeah, that's coming up next week. I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago I did a live from the beach, and I'll try to do another one of those. You know, there's a lot of razor clam content on YouTube, but not too many people do it live, and it's something me and my wife enjoy doing together. So that'll be coming up here in the future. Spring fishing is right around the corner, and goddamn, I can't wait because it's beautiful where I live, but it's very gloomy and raining as well. And I'm not complaining because I feel fortunate, but well, we've been at this about an hour, and I'm about a cup of coffee low. If you haven't had a chance, check out the channel, Fishing Camping. I ended up going down this weird rabbit hole, which is going to feel like gear review, but that's not necessarily what the channel is about. It was more about like, hey, look at my new toys. And that new toy happened to be an inflatable tent and a wood stove. So I did go down this weird gear review thing, but so I mean, check it out. Like I said, it just happened. You know, I was more excited, like, holy shit, I bought this 120 square foot inflatable tent and I'm gonna heat it with the wood stove. Now it's cool to me. It's what I enjoy. I enjoy camping and fishing. That's what my channel is about. Hope you guys get time to check it out. Go outside. It's good for your soul. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.